I'm Purnima Singh Rathore. I am presently work as a subject matter expert in a technical role for one of the world's leading oil and gas company. Somewhere I realized that yes, there is a gap, and because of which I'm not able to make the impact which I should have. Storytelling was not compelling. So I think, these were the few things which were there in my mind when I, started Zenith. I think before starting Zenith, I was really not aware that communication intelligence is so vast. Yeah, I was actually taking it as a communication skill, something, which I have to externally present, so that people do pay attention on whatever I'm talking. Yeah, and making a outcome driven communication. Yeah, so I think those were my expectations in the beginning. Communication intelligence is much more beyond. Yeah, it is. I think it more than external, it is internal. Yeah, internally, what you are thinking about yourself, how you are preparing, how you are strong inside, and then again, it is like internally what you are thinking about yourself as well as about other people with whom you are going to connect and communicate. And then once you have this thorough understanding of what your audience needs, what they expect out of it, it should be like not something which is only your expectation. It is keeping their expectation in mind and then delivering it.
I think you very beautifully brought internal and external communication together. And like you just said, that you wanted to undergo personal evolution. And I think the understanding that communication starts from within, and the first change that you need to make is in the mindset and the attitude with which you approach any communication. I think that in itself brought in a huge shift that you were not expecting. How did life change for you? What was different between then and now?
So I think one of the things which I basically learned and was applying is, I think previously there was this structure which was missing in my talk. I did not know, when I was approaching a person, how to construct my communication, how to rightly start it. I had what outcome do I want, that I knew. I would say that way, structuring your entire thing. Yeah, first building that connect, then understanding the emotion of the person, kind of forming a common ground between the two people, and then communicating out what we want with clarity. So this was one of the things which I applied, structure in my communication, which I learned basically, and I'm still learning. I'm not still not there. I'm still working on it. Second thing, I think again, one of the important thing was this Kaizen lecture which happened. So what happens is, and it happens with everyone, that when you are in a working environment, when you are working with several people, with time, you build that, you start thinking of all the positives, negatives, and I think with time, negatives become more powerful. Yeah, and you can't detach yourself from them. So, in the Kaizen's lecture, I learned that how you have to declutter the things, unnecessary things you are watching out. Just stop looking at it. Focus on the important. Focus on the main thing, and then constructing your communication. So I think your energy then goes only towards it, and so the entire thing becomes very very positive for you as well as for your audience.
And so I think a very important thing that you mentioned is including people, even when you're trying to structure your communication, and that makes the real impact. So thank you for mentioning that. You've mentioned a little bit about how using Kaizen improved the relationships with the people in your life. So let me ask you this. How have the people around you started looking at you differently? It could be in your personal or professional life.
Okay, so maybe here I can give personal example clearly because my family knows that I'm doing it. So they are the first people to look out for the change in me. And I think for me, my son is one of that person who has admired changes in me. I think he has complimented me, Mama, you have like toned down. My tone has come down. I am I have become empathetic listener for him. So one of the activities on empathetic listening, in fact, I did with him. And during that activity, I realized what I was missing, as a mother to communicate with him. The main thing will be this small, and then they will build a lot of story around it. So what happens is as parents, we sometimes become selective list. That is what I was doing with him. But I think after learning this, I am like listening in full, and he's realizing. So I think one change is that talking about my professional life. See, because not many people in my organization know that I'm doing like this, or they have come forward to tell me this change within me. But yes, during this period, I have also interacted with lot many people in my, a lot of high level, top level people. And I think one thing I could realize about me is that, as I said before, there was this structure which I could bring. Previously, I would be like so confused how to start, how to bring my main point, how to end. But I think, how I should kind of direct my communication so that, it falls in the right way while communicating.
How does it feel on the inside? How accomplished do you feel as a person?
Yes, there is a lot of contentness, I would say, because, of course, because I had come with a different mindset towards this course. But yes, while learning this communication intelligence, I think lot many more aspects of communication I have learned. Yeah, so I was open towards it. I have accepted, all those things. However, I'm applying those things right now in my journey of life. I feel accomplished. And I think I would feel more accomplished when I'm able to apply everything I have learned.
To actually hear you say that and approach this milestone with that mindset. Let me shift the gears a little bit over here and let's talk a little bit about Gurleen ma'am because communication intelligence doesn't really exist without her. How is Gurleen ma'am as a mentor?
I would say she's a great mentor, and I think more than that, she's a great human being. Yeah, while going through all these sessions, having all the interactions with her, we have also learned a lot of personal aspects about her, and I think somewhere, of course, that respect has come in for her. So I mean, she's, of course, for mentor also you have that respect, but it is like beyond professional. I think there is a connect which I have established with her. And yeah, I would say, of course, I mean, she is delivering this entire platform, so she has acquired all that knowledge what she's sharing. But I think beyond that, one key element about her is that she's able to get what's the main weakness inside you. And I think my one-on-one session really helped me a lot, and I was really surprised how she could take out that those things, those fears which were there inside me. Those were like, I never knew that those were fears, but then that interaction helped me kind of rediscover myself. So I think that's something that she has developed over the period, while doing this. Whatever problem I have gone to her with, I mean, it's not that she does not have a solution. She would have said that, no, this is something outside communication intelligence. I cannot help. She has provided solution for every problem. So she's a, how do I say, an all around person, I would say.
You've had a lot of years of experience in the corporate world. You've worked with one of the best organizations. You're sitting in a very good position. So you must have attended a lot of trainings in the past. What sets Gurleen ma'am apart as a coach?
So I think when I compare those trainings and this training, I would just give a term as holistic. Okay, those trainings were very much towards the focus towards the target. I think this was like holistic, covering, I think, every aspect of you giving you tips for development overall. So I think that's one difference, key difference, which I, see. Our sessions were made interactive. Yeah. So it was not just that, it is just, throwing this knowledge on you, but it is also like, she was very keen to understand what you have understood, how you are applying. For example, I never expected that I will get a SWOT analysis of myself. I had never expected to get a personality profile report. Yeah, so I think these areas I was really not expecting. And when the results came, it really broadened my view about myself. Yeah, because I'm born with a personality, and so that's a trait of that. So I think again that helped me understand, what more should I work so that people should understand me more. What should I do more to make myself project better to them? Then, of course, multiple other things which we have gone through, like circle of excellence exercise. We have learned about a lot many internal factors which we are doing during the communication. then how our internal factors are impacting our external communication. I would say a lot of practical, theoretical as well as practical guidances. Then guidances towards lot of real time situations, yeah, as to how to behave in those kind of situations. I'm kind of covering quite a few of them. Of course, not everything, but I think in most of the scenarios, those things can be, how do I say, mixed and matched and, apply to all kind of situations. Yeah.
Most people don't really pay attention to when people think about communication, they think about vocabulary, grammar, the way that I'm delivering what I'm saying. And majority of people think that that's where the impact lies, that's where the connection lies. But I think one thing that you very beautifully mentioned is that there are layers to communication, layers that people don't really bother uncovering. And that is why elements of connection are very vastly missing in day-to-day conversations that we have with people. Why should working professionals be a part of communication intelligence?
See, I think, as I said, that how I applied this thing to myself, with my good number of years of experience, there is some thought process which you carry with you. So it helped me, work towards thought process, or maybe I would say modify that thought process or put it in the right way. So I think one is that aspect. And another thing, often as you just pointed it out, that, we sometimes think that communication is just, these just skills, having right grammar, using right vocabulary, delivering it with confidence. We focus on those external aspects only. So I think, once we know this internal, then automatically those external aspects get, corrected. And in that case, even if a person is weak in vocabulary or maybe in grammar, if internally he is clear what he has to communicate, and if internally the person is clear how he has to connect with people, then again, automatically that communication will be impact. Yeah. So I think, yeah, that's another thing. And see, I would say learning this develops you as a, all around personality. Yeah. So it is not just for your professional thing. I think in your personal life also, professional relationships as well as in your life, you apply, these learnings.